This is a detailed summary of the book Master Your Time by Thibaut Meurisse. If you want to learn how to manage your time better and be more productive without reading the entire book, this video is for you. Don't expect a superficial summary. We're going to dive deep into the practical strategies that Meurisse teaches and show you exactly how to apply them in your daily life. You'll understand in 8 lessons how small changes can multiply your productivity and finally give you time for what really matters. And there's a key insight at the end that might be the secret to unlocking your productivity once and for all. So stay with me until the end and discover how to change your relationship with time forever. Let's get started. We live in an era where the feeling of never having enough time is constant. The overload of information, work, and personal responsibilities often makes it seem like 24 hours aren't enough. Master Your Time challenges this perception, arguing that the problem isn't how much time we have, but how we manage it. The book's core idea is that by aligning our daily activities with our values and long-term goals, we can transform our relationship with time. Imagine time as a river constantly flowing. We can't control it, but we can learn to navigate it in a way that leads us to our desired destination. Lesson 1. Time is your most valuable and non-renewable asset. Time is the only resource that, once spent, can never be recovered. While money, energy, and even knowledge can be regained, every wasted minute is gone forever. Meurisse makes an interesting analogy. Imagine receiving a deposit of 86,400 units in your bank account every day, but you can't save anything for tomorrow. You'd spend that money wisely, right? That's exactly how many seconds we have each day. Yet most people waste them without a second thought. The author invites us to conduct an honest audit of how we spend our time. Take a piece of paper and write down all the activities you did in the last 24 hours. How much time was invested in something that truly added value to your life? And how much was lost to distractions, procrastination, or tasks that could have been delegated or eliminated? Many people don't realize that simply checking their phone constantly can steal precious hours from their day. The issue isn't a lack of time, it's how we choose to use it. Meurisse gives the example of a woman who always claimed she didn't have time to read books, exercise, or invest in her dreams. But after analyzing her routine, she realized she spent over 2 hours a day aimlessly scrolling on her phone. If she redirected that time toward what really mattered, she could read dozens of books a year, improve her health, and even develop a new skill. Small adjustments in time management can have an enormous impact over the long run. Lesson 2. Productivity is about meaning, not just time. Many people believe that being productive means staying busy all the time, checking off endless to-do lists. But true productivity isn't about quantity, it's about quality. Meurisse argues that real productivity means aligning your time with what truly matters to you. Completing 100 irrelevant tasks is useless if you're neglecting the projects that could actually change your life. He presents the following reflection. Imagine 2 people working 8 hours a day. One spends that time answering emails, attending meetings, and putting out fires. The other dedicates most of their day to strategic activities that generate long-term growth. Who is truly productive? The answer is obvious. The secret to productivity isn't doing more, it's doing the right things. One of the examples in the book is a businessman who constantly felt overwhelmed, thinking he never had time to innovate in his business. After analyzing his routine, he realized he spent much of the day solving problems that could be delegated. When he started prioritizing only strategic tasks, his productivity skyrocketed, and he finally managed to grow his company. The same principle applies to anyone. If you want to be truly productive, you need to learn to differentiate between what is essential and what is just noise. Lesson 3. Focus is the ultimate productivity multiplier. We live in an age of constant distractions. Our phones vibrate every few minutes. Emails keep coming in, and social media is designed to steal our attention. The real problem isn't just the amount of time we lose to distractions, but how they sabotage our ability to concentrate. Meurisse explains that every time we interrupt a task to check our phone or respond to a message, it takes several minutes to regain full focus. By the end of the day, these small interruptions add up to hours of lost productivity. To fix this, the author recommends using time blocks, a technique where you set specific periods of the day to work without interruptions. During these blocks, your phone should be on airplane mode, notifications disabled, and no other task should be done. He cites the example of a writer who used this technique to finish his books faster. He wrote for 90 minutes without any interruptions, and then took a break. This simple adjustment increased his productivity by more than 50%. Another key aspect of focus is the ability to say no to anything that doesn't contribute to your goals. Meurisse emphasizes that every commitment or distraction you accept means less time for what really matters. Before agreeing to any new task or invitation, ask yourself, does this truly deserve my attention right now? If the answer is no, learn to decline politely but firmly. Lesson 4. Procrastination is a matter of clarity and awareness. Many people think they procrastinate because they're lazy or lack willpower. But Meurisse explains that the real root of procrastination is a lack of clarity. When we don't know exactly what we need to do, or when a task seems too big, our brain tends to avoid it. That's why we delay important projects and instead spend time on trivial activities that give us a false sense of productivity. The author suggests a simple method to overcome procrastination. Break large tasks into smaller steps and set short deadlines for each one. In the book, he mentions a university student who kept postponing writing his thesis because it felt overwhelming. When he started breaking it down into small daily chunks, writing just 200 words a day, for example, the task became much more manageable, and he finally finished his work without last-minute stress. Another powerful trick is to create a work environment that minimizes distractions. Meurisse shares the story of a professional who spent hours procrastinating on his phone without realizing it. To solve this, he started leaving his phone in another room while working. This simple change eliminated the temptation to check his phone every few minutes and significantly boosted his productivity. Small adjustments can make a huge difference. Lesson 5. Your perception of time shapes how you use it. How we perceive time directly influences how we use it. Meurisse argues that many people live trapped in a scarcity mindset, believing they never have enough time. This perception creates stress and prevents us from making conscious choices about how we invest our time. The author challenges us to shift this perspective and see time as a flexible resource that can be optimized and fully utilized. One of the book's most interesting examples is that of a highly busy entrepreneur who decided to track every minute of his day for a week. Despite feeling like he didn't have time, he discovered he was actually wasting several hours on distractions and unnecessary tasks. When he started managing his schedule better and blocking out time for what truly mattered, he doubled his productivity without having to work more hours. Meurisse suggests a powerful exercise to change our perception of time: the reverse visualization technique. Imagine yourself in the future, looking back and evaluating how you wished you had spent your time. If you had only 1 year left to live, would you still waste so many hours scrolling through Instagram or delaying important projects? This perspective helps us make more conscious choices about how we invest our time. Lesson 6. Invest your time. Don't just spend it. The author emphasizes that there are two ways to deal with time: spending it or investing it. Spending time means engaging in activities that bring no long-term benefits, like binge-watching television shows without purpose or endlessly scrolling through social media. Investing time, on the other hand, means using it for something that will bring future returns, such as learning, personal development, or building valuable relationships. One powerful example Meurisse shares is about a man who decided to replace 30 minutes of social media use with 30 minutes of reading. At first, it seemed like a small change, but within a year, he had read over 20 books and gained skills that helped him land a promotion at work. Small shifts in how we invest our time can lead to extraordinary results. To ensure we are investing our time wisely, the author suggests conducting a weekly time audit. This means reviewing your schedule and asking yourself, which activities truly added value to my life this week? What was a complete waste of time? By gradually eliminating time-wasting activities and replacing them with productive ones, we can build a routine that aligns with our goals and aspirations. Lesson 7. Learn to say no and eliminate strategic distractions. Saying no is one of the hardest skills to master, yet it's one of the most powerful when it comes to time management. Meurisse explains that every time we say yes to something unimportant, we're automatically saying no to something that truly matters. The problem is that many people fear rejecting requests because they want to avoid conflict or disappointing others. In the book, the author shares the story of a businesswoman who constantly accepted unnecessary meetings and favors. As a result, she worked late every day and felt constantly exhausted. When she started filtering her commitments and saying no to unimportant meetings, she freed up several hours per week and was finally able to focus on growing her business. The impact was enormous. Meurisse suggests a simple method to learn how to say no without guilt. Before accepting any commitment, ask yourself, is this aligned with my main goals? If the answer is no, decline it politely. If you struggle with this, use neutral phrases like, unfortunately, I can't commit to this right now, or this is not a priority for me at the moment. Over time, this practice becomes natural and helps protect your time for what truly matters. Lesson 8. Create an environment that supports your productivity. Our work environment has a huge impact on how we use our time. If your workspace is cluttered, full of distractions, and uncomfortable, your productivity will naturally suffer. Meurisse explains that to maximize efficiency, we need to create an environment that makes work flow easily and pleasantly. He shares the case of a writer who always struggled to focus. After analyzing his routine, he realized that his office was full of distracting objects, and his chair was uncomfortable. By making a few simple changes, organizing his desk, investing in an ergonomic chair, and removing unnecessary objects, his productivity skyrocketed. Another crucial aspect is setting up environmental triggers for focus. If you always work in the same place and follow a specific routine, like making coffee before starting or putting on instrumental music, your brain starts associating that environment with productive work. Creating these associations helps you enter a flow state more easily and make the most of your time. Now that you know these strategies, the question is, how will you apply them in your daily routine? You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. Instead, start with small changes that will compound over time. You can begin by eliminating distractions from your workspace, replacing 30 minutes of social media with reading, or practicing saying no to commitments that don't align with your goals. The key is to take the first step. Meurisse teaches that productivity is not about doing more, but about doing better. By making intentional choices about how you use your time, you can achieve more without feeling overwhelmed. Tell me in the comments, which of these strategies impacted you the most? Do you already apply any of them in your life? If this video helped you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to master their time. And if you want to deepen your knowledge, you can buy the book in physical or digital format using my Amazon affiliate link in the description and pinned comment. By doing so, you'll also be supporting this channel to bring you even more valuable content. See you in the next video for more compact wisdom.